To be honest, I'm happy to talk to you via WhatsApp. I'm happy to do a video chat because for me it's very transparent. So, I mean, if you all need to record or not, it's fine totally. I have no issues. As far as I'm concerned, I just want to do whatever it takes to sort of move on. I've gone from at least being able to meet people, now I'm like on lockdown. But okay. I wanted you to just convey, if possible, to Martin that I really believe that the change in government does present a real opportunity to resolve these 1MDB related issues. And I am committed to achieve that. Basically, I agreed to give up all the assets. The US sells it, and the monies will be used to directly repay 1MDB US dollar bonds. The US doesn't trust the Malaysian government, so they said we're not going to send back the money. If I sign the deal, basically the Malaysian government would say, okay, so are you now saying that the monies are allegedly from 1MDB when the position is not? But my position, I told them, look, in the US, you can sign settlement agreements which have no admission of wrongdoing. The Attorney General had numerous discussions with the Singapore AG, and they actually agreed to close off those charges. In return, I agreed to waive my claims to all the assets, and then they also agreed to basically lift the Interpol red notice, because Singapore has also put a red notice on me. That's why I have travel restrictions. I have given up a lot of the assets, and there's still a portion that I haven't given up. So I think if Singapore hears from Malaysia to say, look, Mr. Low is going to waive all these claims, I can do it within the next 5 days, easy. Obviously, in return, then I need Singapore to lift my Interpol red notice, which they were willing to do, and that in future they can't file any new notices on me. But if they want to file new charges on me, that's their business. I'm willing to waive all my rights to all the assets, and then effectively say the Malaysian government can take all of it, and then in return, basically, I would need Malaysia's undertaking that, because of my cooperation, that this is settled and there will be no future proceedings against me and so on and so forth. So typically what happens is we're trying to sell all the assets. It makes it easier for the DOJ and Malaysia, basically, so you all don't have to deal at the asset level. We're talking to them to try and move it from Indonesia to the Mediterranean, because we think it can get a much higher price than the US, because as you know, the summer season is easier to sell a boat. So that I think when the time comes, we may need your help to talk to the Indonesians. But that will of course be with the DOJ's consent. I just think it's unfair. Look, at the end of the day, whatever they want to say, but ultimately I have no authority to make any decision. It's a pretty known fact that all the approvals have to be approved by the Minister of Finance. To be honest, I know most of the people that can be very helpful. If the objective is, let's look at black and white, who's at fault, is the Prime Minister at fault, is the First Lady at fault, then I think everyone can go back and prepare the documentation and so on and so forth. So I'll just give you the reality. The reality is, it is true that King Abdullah actually agreed to give a donation to the PM. But that was a small portion of a larger portion. So I think what they're trying to do is take first section and paint it all over, the thing in general. Nick Faisal's point is he's happy to sign a statutory declaration. I'm going to make sure that is consistent to the factual events, and if that is agreed, he'll sign it, and then he just wants to go back and continue his life. I think the most challenging part is trying to identify the flows, used to purchase all this jewelry. I don't have like an accurate number because I think, this thing happened over time. But I believe, the number is north of $500 million. That's a huge number. These East Coast Railing is the most important. It was like President Xi's biggest One Belt One Road program in Asia. But I think the Chinese position is, I understand that the current government may need to adjust pricing and so on and so forth, but I'm pragmatic. But I don't want to get involved in basically larger related items. So they're pretty clear, I think, on that front. I don't think they'll throw him under the bus, but I think they are very concerned it impacts them sort of, from a reputational perspective.
Okay.